Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Kaisa, and we'll be facing off against the Baron Adventure from the Teamfight Adventures campaign. I figured after the last run with Morgana, that took almost 2 hours to complete, mostly because of my blunders, I needed to play something faster, so we're playing Kaisa, and just to make things a little bit more interesting, I'm playing kind of a budget version of the setup you would run on Kaisa, well, at least on 6-star Kaisa. So I have full build for the keywords, same thing with the Dreams of Yordles, and then Luden's Tempest makes it so Icatian Rain deals 2 damage to everything instead of 1. That combined with the Will the Abyss, it should be interesting, because we turn Kaisa into a buff machine for our units. Preparation, Vampiric Vitality, Ascension. Honestly, I'm going to pick up the Vampiric Vitality. It significantly reduces the amount of health I have access to, but it shouldn't really matter as long as we can keep 1 unit on the board and we can drop down the Kaisa the turn after our first attack. So let's just develop the Belvethi Elder. First things first. Let's buff up the Belvethi Elder. Ooh, the opponent's unit actually survives this. That's impressive, actually. Most of the time the unit you play on the first turn has more than enough stats to contest the opponent's units. That might actually make things a little bit harder, because the opponent might actually have a chance of developing a board. That combined with my reduced stealth total. This might be a bit tricky. At least if the opponent gets to develop a significant board. Well, just like usual when you're playing Kaisa, 6-star Kaisa, the turn you drop down Kaisa, you just kill the opponent with damage.
They'll keep retreating and we'll keep pushing.
All I have to do is ensure that our support champion is a decent 4-drop, I think, and we'll be fine. Class Cutter, Plaza Guardian. Let's pick up the Class Cutter, I guess, but I'm definitely cutting it from the deck as soon as possible. Ash, Zillion, Senna. Zillion, maybe? Ash is interesting, actually. Ramtusk Shaman, if it survives, just might be enough to stall out the Baron permanently. I'm going to pick up Ash, just because of that. Then I have Unscarred River or Mountain Drake. Mountain Drake might be easier to deal with. The Unscarred River, our game plan with the Kaisa might actually result in the opponent getting a bunch of buffs in his units without me really meaning to do so. Let's see. Elusive Voidling, Impact Voidling. Let's go for the Elusive Voidling. $11. Unfortunately, we can't really contest that. Now that we're evolved, maybe we can just do this. Pull there. That's one less unit we have to worry about. The next turn we dropped on the Ash, we get Scout. Ooh. That's a very strong start from the opponent. Can we protect at least one of our units? Actually we can. That's perfect. Then we have something to play alongside the... Or we have something to attack with alongside the Kai'Sa. Let's drop down the Kai'Sa then.
I know what they are. I know how to destroy
The
them.
only way we're in a poor position here is if the opponent drops on the unit that's immune to the opponent's damaging spells and skills. But even then, that just might not be enough for the opponent to survive.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah, you can't even block because my units have elusive. But we're fine.
A small victory is a victory all the same. Good work.
Against Elder Dragon, this might actually be unachievable. A 2-turn victory. The fact the Elder Dragon starts with a lot of units is the problem. Shadow Totem Kai'Sa. Yeah, let's pick up the Shadow Totem for the Kai'Sa. With Shadow Totem Kai'Sa we basically double up the amount of damage we can dish out on the Kai'Sa turn. So maybe it's not that out of reach, the dream of killing the Elder Dragon on our second turn, I mean. It's still going to be a challenge to get there, particularly against this opponent, because of the amount of stuff he can develop in a single turn. Maybe next turn I forego Ash and instead focus on developing 2 units. But he played a 3-drop, so maybe I'm safe to do this. My units have lifesteal too, I've got to remember that. So it's not like I'm going to take a significant amount of damage if I just do this. Okay, so it's just the next turn. I was worried for no reason. Let's do that there. Share our keywords with the Ash.
Something the void will never understand.
And then with the 2 Kaisas we can actually share the keywords with these voidlings.
I'm learning.
And that means the opponent's just dead.
Coming for you.
Yeah. I've also got to remember that this guy also has a Luden's Echo. So with the 2 Kaisas my first set of Ikatian Rains also deals 3 damage twice.
They'll keep retreating and we'll keep pushing.
I'm Fang Wolf, Iceville Archer, Frozen Fear. I'll pick up the Prime Fang Wolf, sure. Honored Lord, Spells Chest. Let's go for the Spells Chest. Nothing. Let's move on then. Maybe I should have gone for the Honored Lord just so I could get a item on one of my champions. But I figured the Spells Chest could be interesting. Guess I was wrong. Also, in the healer encounter, I'm definitely cutting the Herald of the Hive, or whatever it's called, the 6-drop. I'm definitely never pulling it. This is a weaker turn 1 than what we'd like. Let's play Aspiring Chronomancer, I suppose.
When we look ahead, we know how to prepare.
That's not that great. I don't want to lose the Aspiring Chronomancer right away. Fortunately, I can do this. Not only do I trade into one of the Heralds of Dragons, I also get the health back that I lost to the Enraged Fire Spitter.
Elder Dragon, I am your destiny.
All the world
I think I'm safe to do this. Really? I would really like to play
target.
the second skin on the Ash.
These are our lands.
If I play the second skin on the Aspiring Chronomancer, do I save it? I think so. Yeah, I'd rather have the unit on board. I can always just second skin the Ash next turn to get the keywords first, and then go for the Kaiser right after, and then second skin the Aspiring Chronomancer afterwards without missing any keywords on it. Really? I would think the opponent would have something for 6, but apparently not. Well, to be fair, it's not every opponent that can deal with this. Baron might be the only one, honestly. The fact that we don't, or we can't rely on excess damage to close out the game, and instead we have to focus on killing the Baron Nashor, might make the game go on beyond the first turn. Or the second attack turn, I should say. Last second save, Ascension, Preparation. Honestly, I think the best choice of power we could get is the Titanic Titan for the extra health. Yeah, that does nothing. When you play a 4-cost unit, summon a different 4-cost unit from your deck. Yeah, and that does nothing. Cybernetic implants, I suppose. A little bit of extra stats can't hurt. Also, I'm not facing off against the Ocean Drake. That's just too risky of an encounter to take on. Especially when I have such a low health total. The opponent might just be able to kill me with pure burn. Aspiring Chronomancer turn 1. I think I'll pick this up, just in case. I'll payday. Maybe I can find a keyword I don't have on Kai'Sa, like quick attack. That's nice. And ideally, I remove one of the opponent's units here, and the opponent doesn't get to attack this turn. He gets to attack this turn. Well, it's fine. I'll just Ash. Can I Ash this turn? It's greedy, but I'm going to Ash this turn. I might be forced to trade one of my units in though. Maybe not. Let's do this. Buff up the Aspiring Chronomancer. We take 8 damage from this Snapshot Swarmer. But at the very least we get to preserve 2 units on our board. So now we do this. Let's roll down the Kai'Sa with 12 different keywords.
I know what they are. I know how to destroy them. There's still time. They have to be.
Anything? Oh, okay, the opponent has nothing.
Suits a quick study.
That means another victory for us.
I turn it like so.
There was a reason why I decided to stop playing Kai'Sa so frequently. It's mostly because of this. Once you get going, you just... Actually, no, it's not once you get going. It's just 6-star Kai'Sa generally kills the opponents on the second attacking turn, because that's when you drop down Kai'Sa and you just have all your keywords set up and you deal a bunch of damage. Let's pick up the card that's already in my deck. Then we go for a card cut. Let's cut the class cutter. I haven't played it a single time. All of these are pretty meh. Explosive Finale. Doesn't help in the last encounter. Let's reroll. Spell Slinger. Doesn't help that much either, but I'll take it anyway. All of these are pretty bad. Let's move on. The only reason I decided to play Kai'Sa was I figured against the Baron Nashor the game might go on for longer, and that might make things interesting. Let's toss the Rimefang Wolf. Rimefang Wolf is definitely the next one on the chopping block. Let's pass priority back to the opponent, see what he does. I'll go for a White Ballaster.
You wasters came a long way for a whooping.
Double Frostbite. That's annoying. That denies me my ability to remove one of the opponent's units here on the first turn. I can deal 5 to something. I'll do it. Not because of that, but because it will generate 2 Sigils of the Storm off of the Storm Calling. That means I can go Ash Voidling next turn.
Not and ready.
That might be relevant. Frozen in Fear. I was worried the opponent was going to play
This is my turn.
a what's it called, the one Titanic unit with the Sigils of the Storm, but turns out I was worried for no reason.
I think not.
And yes, we go down to 5 here, but we can just second skin here. Kai'Sa comes down with a bunch of keywords.
Their every move
We'll attack
just makes
and heal up to full because of that, so we're fine.
but I ain't saying no to help. I'm gonna do what I can, but you need to run.
Nothing really.
I'm learning.
No frostbites, no nothing. I guess the Kai'Sas have spell shield,
There's nowhere to
but
hide.
still.
I'll protect the villages.
There we go, that's a frostbite. Does nothing, but it's still an attempt.
Gotta fight.
There. Now that the tutorial is over, we can finally get into the fun part of the run. Facing off against Baron Nashor. Power Reef? Yeah, sure. It allows us to go for more things alongside the Kai'Sa. Vanguard Lookout, just for the board presence. Nothing else. Yeah. Let's keep our deck consistent. Let's get Rimefang Wolf too. Yeah. For a second I thought maybe I should keep the Rimefang Wolf around just to test if it can kill the Baron. But then I remembered the interaction with the Disintegrate from Any, and I realized for once the developers coded something to interact the way it says exactly on the card. We didn't draw Ash. That's a bit unfortunate.
If I can save a life, I must. I was born in Belveth. I cannot leave.
That's cool. You have a Belvethi Elder. Unfortunately, my Belvethi Elder is better.
I must fight.
Let's just play to control the board a little bit. By doing this, I'll Void Seeker that thing, sets it up so that I can Brittle Steal it next turn, if I need to.
Take the children to safety now.
That's fine. I could go for Kais on the first turn, but I have already attacked, so that wouldn't accomplish much of anything. That's scary. Let's buff up this guy. Unfortunately, that thing is now out of range from the Brittle Steel. But I can still do this to protect some of my health. Not all of it, unfortunately. And decides to not attack instead. Okay. In that case, I guess we're going for a Kaiserov without Scout, which is unfortunately for once I would like to have played the Ash before I attacked.
I never turn on my people. Creature.
But I suppose this is how things have to be. Let's attack with everything.
Watching you.
I'm actually going to refrain from attacking with the Kaisa
There's nowhere to hide.
because I want this Kaisa to strike into the Baron Nashor. Let's pass. Baron's almost dead. My Kaisa dies next turn, but I have another one in hand. So we're fine on that front. Really? You're really using vengeance on Kaisa.
I'm right here.
It's not really going to accomplish much of anything, you know. Well, the unfortunate part is that I can't really do anything about this attack from the Voidling. At least I'm not dead. I would really like a Brittle Steel target. I suppose this clears my entire board.
I was born in
The
Belveth.
opponent might be happy with that.
Stay.
But the Baron's almost dead. If only I could get something that's playable alongside the Kaisa.
The void.
I can't even target Kaisa with the second skins, unfortunately.
Come on!
9.
I
Might be fine, better to do this. How do I actually, this is better.
coming for you.
I just really wanted to set up the Igathian Reigns so that it would allow me to play the Brittle Steel on something, except because of the way things worked out, I don't get to
Adding to
Brittle still anymore. All because the opponent removed one keyword from the Kai'Sa. Well, the opponent's still taking a bunch of damage here. So maybe it's fine. Striking being struck. What if I just do this so you don't deal damage to my unit? What then, opponent? Then I can drop down the Rime Tusk Shaman. I fully intend to buff it up out of range from the Baron if possible. Is that even possible? Probably not.
I'm learning.
But if it just deals enough damage to protect me from dying, then Baron Nashor dies because it strikes all of my units. Yep. Just to ensure that Baron dies. Ooh, Kingfisher. Finally we'll get to draw the Ash. And just like that we won. I think the only reason why we didn't win as quickly was because we didn't get the Ash to get Scout on my Kai'Sa. But yeah, turns out it was as challenging as I anticipated. I wonder what other champion might be decently challenging against Baron Nashor. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.